Venus enters the warm and nurturing sign of Cancer on Monday, June 17th, and until July 11th, the goddess of beauty will make a number of harmonious aspects, including a trine to Saturn, a sextile to Mars, and a conjunction to Mercury. Get ready to receive blessings through family, real estate, and loving and supportive relationships. Let's take a closer look at Venus in Cancer and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you enjoy my work, please take a few seconds of your time to show your support by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. It encourages YouTube algorithm to send more people my way. If you watch one of my other videos after you're done with this one, even better. There's a different way of supporting me, and that is saying thank you by buying me a coffee or tea or croissants or cake, whatever your heart desires. I really appreciate that as well. Before we dive in, a couple of announcements for anyone looking for guidance. You have important questions you need answered and you feel like regular life means have not given you those answers, you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to look at your chart, give you a natal chart reading, a predictive reading, or relationship reading. You can find the options on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. On there, in the shop section of my website, you can find a little bit of magic. I work with astrology in a very active way. I don't just want to pass on the happy moments. I like to capture those moments and encapsulate them in the shape of candles and oils. So, for example, this is my Exalted Venus candle. It captures Venus in Pisces, Venus in the sign of exaltation, which is very romantic, very soothing, very gentle and kind, and it could benefit your relationships. It could bring heart-centered connections, ease of understanding, imagination, and inspiration into your life. I highly recommend this for anyone born with their Venus in Virgo, Aries, or Scorpio, the signs of fall and detriment. Venus in the dark house, 6th, 8th, or 12th. Venus conjunct Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, square those planets, opposite those planets, Venus square opposite Mars, or just anyone who wants, comfort and peace in their life. Recently, I have captured Venus Cazimi in Gemini, and I sort of got to the point really late, and I only created 9, and they were sold out on the day I made them, which was a truly Venus Cazimi gift. And it's like, I've mentioned it on Instagram, but it's so funny because like every time I create something, the moment of creation is very much connected to the election itself, right? So this one, I created them on the day of Venus Cazimi, which is all about relaxation and ease and chilling and having a good time. And I only made 9 candles. So it was like the most chill candle creation ever. Normally my window is like 40-50 minutes. And this time I was done in like 15 minutes. So easy, so joyful. And the fact that they also got like sold out super fast is another example of like election matching the circumstance that surrounds it. Anyways, thank you for listening. Just a little bit of a glimpse into my thinking and my creativity process. So we're talking about Venus. Venus, as you may already heard me mention a lot of times, is the planet of connection. She's the planet of attraction. She's the planet of making things work even when they're not supposed to. She's the cosmic glue. She brings things together. She creates a chord. She has the power to harmonize. When she's placed in the sign other than her own, Taurus, speaking of Taurus, Venus and Taurus candles. Look how pink, look how pretty. Similar vibes to Exalted Venus. And they smell like a rose. This one smells like high tide, so like ocean fresh. Sorry. I got distracted. But yeah, so when Venus is placed in the sign other than Taurus or Libra, she has to behave in accordance to the nature of the sign. So when Venus is placed in Cancer, she has to behave by the rules of the moon. And the moon is emotional. The moon has feelings. She's all about nurturing, taking care. She's all about intuition, right? Sensitivity, compassion, empathy. So Venus enters Cancer on June 17th, like I said, stays until July 11th, and we will notice the effects of this. We will notice that we become more driven. If Venus is what we find attractive, we become more driven and more attracted to motherhood, hanging out with children, spending time at home, spending time with family, having relationships that are loyal and committed, right? Like, we're leaving Venus and Gemini behind, and Venus and Gemini is like, let's have fun, let's date around, let's not commit. Who needs commitment? I mean, depends on your other placements, right? Like, not every Venus and Gemini is just like crazy non-committal, but it's like a lot more playful energy. Versus Venus and Cancer, it's emotional, it's attached, right? The moment they commit to you, and they have deep memory. And so you might start to feel a little bit more nostalgic too. You might notice things and they remind you of your childhood. You may smell the flowers outside and they remind you of being 5 years old and running in the field and falling down. And it's like very, you know, people who are born with this placement, if you are one of those, happy Venus return. Please let us know if this describes you, if you live with this energy, if you express it on a daily basis. We may want to cook. We may want to like wrap ourselves in blankets. We may notice that we tend to stay at home more. Maybe we're baking. Maybe we're just choosing to cuddle with our significant others. So desire for security, comfort, familial things, tenderness, affection, they all go up, right? The struggle here is, of course, the lunar issues, right? Every Cancer placement is known to being moody. There is a tendency to be a little bit passive aggressive, maybe not expressing frustration, trying to like kind of make things always seem like they're fine. So make sure that you're not being passive aggressive or not being manipulative. Watch out for clinginess in the sense of codependency, right? The insecurity may sometimes be present with Venus and Cancer, where you start to kind of like second guess or doubt or like feel uncertain about what the person you're with is feeling. And really recommend like my Venus and Taurus or Exalted Venus candle, because these are, Venus and Taurus is much more just like sort of secure. Here I am. This is what I look like. Just, you know, I'm worthy, I'm deserving. But we will enjoy, at this time, we'll definitely enjoy connecting with family. We'll enjoy building relationships that are loyal and stable. Creatively, we may be driven to talk about the past. There's like, I can't remember who it is, but I think, oh my God, the famous director that makes a lot of Western movies. Please tell me if you're watching this and you know who I'm talking about. But like, I believe he has Venus in Cancer. And so there's like that nostalgia towards the past, towards something that once has been. So you will feel almost like driven to wear things from the past, to, you know, connect with things that remind you of the past, to make art that is somehow connected to your feelings, to your history. And you may actually benefit at this time through that. If you're born with Venus in Cancer, people with Venus in Cancer benefit through like their family a lot of times. You know, there's like a strong, unless it's debilitated, unless there is other aspects, everything needs to be considered together, but it could be quite a beneficial placement. So some other things to mention: Mercury also enters Cancer on the same day, June 17th, stays in Cancer until July 2nd. Venus and Mercury conjoin on June 17th. This is lovely. I think we've had Venus and Mercury in Gemini. They squared Saturn, they squared Neptune. Like in the first, you know, couple of weeks of June, you may have dealt with a little bit of restriction, overwhelm, some kind of, you know, harsh reality checks. And so now that Venus and Mercury come together, they're in Cancer. It's a great time to talk about the feelings, express affection, express your love towards someone, compromise, negotiate. You may receive gifts. You may experience heightened feelings, more commitment, easier time negotiating, easier time connecting, easier time expressing thoughts, right? But yeah, like very charming, very like, it's also a great couple of days to write, to speak, because your speech is more sensitive, more eloquent, more kind. You're very likely to feel creative at this time. Between June 28th, June 29th, Venus will also sextile Mars. So this is beautiful. Venus rules Mars at this point because Mars is in Taurus. So Mars is connecting with its ruler. Beautiful for romance, for socializing, for creativity, for starting creative projects, for promoting your creative work and things like that. July 2nd, Venus trines Saturn, which is the goddess of love coming together with the planet of commitment. Both like working hard sometimes, both like perfecting things. So it might be a beautiful time for your creative work where maybe you are, mastering a skill, you are perfecting something, you're like also showing up as an authority in a creative field or as an authority on topics of relationships and connection, committing in a relationship, like, Saturn ruling boundaries and agreement and sort of like these things that are serious. When they trine, Venus trines Saturn, those serious, heavy things do not feel as serious and heavy as normally, as if when Venus squares Saturn, right? Like it feels a little bit easier. July 8th, Venus sextiles Uranus, opportunities to date someone new, experiment in relationships, have some fun. And then July 10th, 11th, Venus trines Neptune, which is, Venus is just making good aspects in Cancer. Between June 17th, July 11th, just lots of good times. I mean, there will be a square to Chiron and Aries, but, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to pretend like everything is great. But there is a chance that like in mid-July, like July, 7th, 8th, 9th, you may feel a little bit of like a need to heal something potentially. So yeah, and July 11th, Venus trines Neptune, very inspired, very sort of harmonious and like creative aspect. You don't know it, but sometimes while I'm filming these videos, I because I want to feel comfortable, I might sit with my legs stretched out right there. That's where my leg just went, but I'm just letting you in a little bit into my process. It's like that joke that news reporters only wear their tops. They don't need to wear bottoms because nobody sees their legs, right? There's a little bit of that going on, I think, for most YouTubers. So yes, let me know if this is your placement. Once again, happy Venus return. If you want to get a reading, if your birthday is right around the corner, I recommend getting a solar return because it's the reading that looks both at the transits and the chart that is unique to your year, which is called solar return. And annual perfections, progressions could be perfect. Could be also a great gift for someone in your life if they have a birthday coming up. You can also book a relationship reading, a natal chart reading, or a very short reading if you had one question, and all of that is on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. So now let's take a look at the 12 signs and see what kind of benefits might be coming your way, what kind of portion of your chart will receive blessings and soft sort of hugs and love of Venus. If you are an Aries rising, Venus is entering your 4th house together with Mercury on June 17th. They conjoin. 4th house is very much about family. So Venus being here might inspire you to connect with family. Sorry. It might be the time when you're feeling a little bit more nostalgic, a little bit more sentimental about the past, about your childhood. You may feel inspired to take those feelings and nostalgia and turn them into art, especially if it's in the home, right? Like painting a wall or painting just something about your past, like drawing, drawing something based on your family history, writing about family history, making a documentary about your family, making sort of, maybe you're beautifying your home, maybe you are making changes to make it feel more secure, more comfortable, maybe you're having more romance in the home, sort of like that desire to spend more time indoors and have dates inside that perhaps are a little bit more private. You may notice also, I think, like looking into the past a little bit more. So both in terms of your childhood, but also maybe at your past flings. So this could be good and bad, right? Just make sure you're not reviving toxic relationships just because they feel comfortable and familiar. That's sometimes the challenge of Cancer. they build a nest, right? And the nest can be also built in dysfunction. So use the power of Venus in the 4th house for good. But like, you know, you can definitely experience maybe even your family life improving, having better relationships, having deeper conversations, more sensitive conversations with family members, feeling more aligned, more connected, more attuned to each other is likely here. And if you're curious to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. We can look at your chart, your relationship, or your year to come. If you are the Taurus rising, if you're the lovely Taurus rising, Venus is about to enter your 3rd house together with Mercury on June 17th. And all the way until July 11th, you're going to have the goddess of beauty in your house of communication. So beautiful time to make amends, to talk to people, to ask for what you want, right? Like you have the charm, you have the diplomacy right now. You may find yourself being that person that negotiates, that problem solves, that helps others figure things out. Like you might be the person that others come to, right? 3rd house represents siblings and neighbors in your community, so you might enjoy connecting with siblings more. You may feel more creative with siblings, like starting some kind of project, a blog, and sibling-like figures, right? Like siblings can also be your friends and people in your community who share things with you, who have like similar kind of ideas. So connecting with siblings, exploring your neighborhood, going out more, reaching out to family members that you haven't spoken to in a while, maybe your aunts, uncles, cousins as well. 3rd house represents short trips, so going on more short trips. Venus always has to do with love. She always connects with dating. So maybe you're traveling and going on short trips with your significant other. Maybe you're dating a neighbor. Maybe you're connecting with someone who is, you know, someone you met through a sibling. But so both, like, I think your immediate environment, your everyday life gets more exciting, and your speech gets more exciting, and your mind is, like, especially with Mercury being here at the same time, your mind is full of ideas, and those ideas are very likely to be creative. But of course, colored with that Venus and Cancer nostalgia, looking at the past, idealizing the past on some level is likely. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart, at your year to come, or your relationship. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 2nd house together with Mercury. So this is lovely for making money through creative pursuits, through sales, through speech, right? Venus and Mercury together allow you to write beautifully, to speak beautifully, to kind of, you know, relate to other people, to like intuitively also pick up on what other people need. So very much beautiful placement for creative writing, for creative speech, for blogging, for YouTubing, anything like that. You might be getting more ideas about making money. You might be spending more money on sort of technology with Mercury here, or on things that kind of like you feel nostalgic about, things that maybe remind you of the past, that remind you of your childhood. Things also that add more comfort into your life, sort of like beautiful things, but also stuff that reminds you of the past. Opportunities to feel better about yourself, right? Like Venus in the 2nd house can boost your sense of self-love, your sense of self-worth. Because 2nd house rules values, you might also notice that you're valuing creating more stability in your life. You might be valuing relationships that feel familial and close and connected and comfortable at this time too. And spending on like beauty products, beauty procedures, art is quite likely at this time. That was a truck, and that's why it was so loud. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus is about to go into your 1st house, and this is arguably one of my most favorite transits. I mean, I'm a Venus ruled, so when Venus transits my 1st house, I'm just very happy, which is normal. But like Venus in the 1st is just always the time when you feel more charming, when you feel more attractive, when other people are drawn to you. It's a very yin, feminine, receptive Venus, so it's not likely that you're gonna have to like go out there to find beauty. It's likely that beauty will find you, beauty will come to you. So you're feeling charming, other people give you more compliments, other people give you more affection, maybe more presents, more gifts. Attention goes towards beauty, towards creativity, towards love, right? Dating and connecting with other people, but also changing your look, changing your wardrobe, maybe investing into yourself is quite likely here. I think also starting projects, Venus connects with Mercury, right? So starting projects that involve writing, that involve speaking, that involve creativity, even like sales, doing some kind of business, but like showing up as the person who is very charming, adaptable, good at getting along with people, good at being diplomatic and helpful and charming, and that translating into updating your look or updating your role in the world is quite lovely. I really like Venus in the first house very, very much. And she will also be aspecting Saturn in your 9th, helping with legal matters, travel, education. She'll be aspecting Taurus in your 11th, Taurus Mars in your 11th, helping you connect with other people. So it's like truly a beautiful time. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website. Consider getting my Moon in Cancer candle. It is my favorite candle. It's potentially the most favorite candle of all that I have made. Or Almond Moon, which is also Moon in Cancer, just named differently because it's big and unique. I forgot if I said it already, but if I said, I'm going to say it again. Book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, for more. Moving on to Leo rising. If you are a Leo rising, Venus is about to enter your 12th house. So this is twofold. 12th house is a complicated place, right? So Venus in the 12th house could be the time when you are feeling like taking a step back. You're maybe inspired by, you may feel inspired. This could be a really great time to work on an idea in solitude, to think about things that are deeply personal, to think about things that reflect your past, to share personal stories, right? Even talk to a therapist about your past and dig deep into your psyche and understand what you truly desire and your relationships and how your past experiences might be spilling into your present experiences and might affect how you deal with love, how you attach, right? So it could be a very inspired time. The more kind of personal and melancholic, or what's the word, nostalgic, like sort of connected to the past you are, the more inspired you're likely to feel. So feeling inspired by like the past, and even taking your longing for something and putting it on a page and writing about it is quite likely here. The challenge with Venus in the 12th house could be 12th house is the place of self-defeating tendencies. And so when Venus comes here, some of our blind spots might become more destructive, right? Like it could be the time when you're choosing to date someone who is toxic but feels familiar, someone you like love and have been missing, and you decide to, give them another chance, but it's probably a bad idea. Some type of passive aggressive behaviors, manipulation in relationships is likely to be like, if it comes up, I think it's the clue, and it's the time for you to work through it and to actually heal from it. But yeah, there's definitely possibilities for a little bit more drama, a little bit more attraction towards people who are unavailable, unhealthy, maybe stir deep feelings in you, maybe trigger something deeply seated and rooted and unhealed. Sort of relationships that are lessons, if you're single, might be coming up at this time. And if you're single and you're not dating, this might also be the period when you're feeling a little bit more lonely. So I would advise that you connect with your family members, that you reach out to people you love, and also work on self-love. Bring some element of spirituality into your life. And if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'm here for you. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus is about to enter your 11th house, and so is Mercury on the same day, June 17th. Mercury is your chart ruler. So with Venus and Mercury together, attention goes to your social life. It goes to your friendships, your networks, your hopes and dreams, your sense of belonging with the collective, your role in the collective, right? So Venus here suggests that your charm will shine in the sort of social context. You might seek to go out, to network, to partner up. You may start dating a friend if you're single, because Venus always represents where Venus goes, love goes quite often. So dating a friend or starting a partnership with a friend is quite likely, or also just having more opportunities to go out, to connect with friends, to network, to go to a wedding, to just have more time spent with friends is likely. You're maybe socializing more, you're maybe volunteering or, participating in a nonprofit, and maybe like even taking action, like maybe it's, it's like a book tour. You have a book and you have to go around telling people about it, or you have a new project and you tell people about it. 11th house also represents social media. So going on social media, starting an Instagram page, a YouTube channel, it's also a really great time for that. And you may benefit at this time through your friends. Like friends can be bringing you exciting opportunities and offering solutions. As always, if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart or your year to come or your relationship and answer any questions you might have. For my lovely Libra risings, this transit will affect your 10th house. So Venus and Mercury enter together on June 17th. Venus stays until July 11th. Mercury leaves a little bit sooner. But if you have been feeling any frustrations professionally, any sort of maybe sense of being overloaded, overwhelmed, not having any fun, or any like health issues, this can actually help. Because Venus in the 10th house smoothes out any drama and tension in professional relationships. It can help you come across as more charming, make it easier for you to express ideas. Maybe you're getting inspired to have new ideas. And I think health-wise, this can help because like if you're enjoying work a little bit more and you're stressing a little bit less, this could be a really great sort of time. I just want to adjust. I just realized that it's like, you're like, why is Anastasia's hand coming towards me? Sorry about that. I think the Libra rising in me always wants to make things more aesthetically pleasing. Speaking of Libra rising, some professional matters. So yeah, so this could be the time of, more ease when it comes to getting along with bosses, more inspiration professionally. Venus really wants to take fun and have fun and do things that are enjoyable. So it's very much like, how can we do work that is pleasant, that is exciting, right? So opportunities to do work that's more inspired. Venus in Cancer can be very sentimental, can be sort of family oriented, home food oriented. So maybe if you're a content creator making videos about your family, talking about the past could be actually quite beneficial right now. And also just like doing more work that is artistic, that is playful, that talks about beauty and fashion can be quite beneficial for you right now, or can be quite enjoyable right now. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are a Scorpio rising, Venus is about to enter your 9th house together with Mercury. So Venus in the 9th house will encourage you to learn new things, especially together with Mercury. I think it's like a good dynamic for learning about love, learning about beauty, learning about fashion, even learning about different cultures, right? You might desire to travel. You might desire to expand your repertoire by picking up a foreign language potentially, or taking a cooking class. If you're single, this could be a lovely time to date a foreigner, or go on a trip and meet someone there, or connect with a foreigner somehow. It could be very much the time of new romantic beginnings that involve foreign lands and faraway places. Having better relationships with teachers, mentors, maybe even thinking about it, becoming a teacher. If you're dealing with any legal matters and he's waiting for any visas or documents to come through, this might be the time when they do and you get some kind of exciting answers. So that could be good. And trips might be quite enjoyable at this time. You might, with Venus and Cancer being quite like nostalgic and family oriented, you might be traveling to see family. Or you may be learning about parenthood. You may be learning about quilting or nursing or like things that are very kind of supportive and comforting towards you and towards people in your life. Let me know how this resonates. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is entering your 8th house together with Mercury. So this should be helpful when it comes to talking about things that people normally don't like talking about, right? 8th house deals with karmic debts, with literal debts, with spoken, unspoken agreements and entanglements we have with other people. And it's not easy to talk about those things. That's why 8th house is a dark house, right? Because these questions of like what we owe to one another are hard to, they slip through the cracks sometimes. I have a friend who just recently realized her brother had to remind her that she owed him $11,000 and she somehow forgot because it's been a while. And and I bet it wasn't easy for the brother to be like, by the way, you still owe me this money, like take your time, but I would like you to pay it back to me. So 8th house could represent these matters that we don't feel comfortable talking about. So when Venus and Mercury go there, it becomes easier. It becomes easier to negotiate, to compromise, to get along, to, talk about money in a relationship, to talk about money in a partnership, to talk about duties you have to each other, to figure things out, because like everything kind of superficial and shallow gets dismissed and you seek closeness and intimacy. It might also be the time when you're connecting with your partner deeper. If you're single, maybe you're understanding yourself a little bit more. You might also find yourself more excited about learning astrology, about diving into spirituality, mysticism, tarot, and things that are a little bit more below the surface, deeper things. You may also notice your partner's finances improving, right? 8th house rules money of other people. So you may be benefiting at this time through them benefiting and being generous with you. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, AnastasiaDoesAstrology.com. We can take a look at your natal chart, your year to come, and anything else you want to know about, maybe your relationship. If you are a Capricorn rising, this is lovely. Venus is entering your 7th house, your place of romance. And this is just the beginning, right? Immediately on the same day, Mercury also enters your 7th house. A few days later, the Sun enters your 7th house. And then we're going to get a new moon in Cancer. So there's a lot of new beginnings in your romantic life. And this is Venus in a yin sign of Cancer. She's not aggressive at manifesting love. She's more receptive. Could be a great time to like journal about who you want to attract. Light my Venus in Taurus or my exalted Venus candle to help boost that energy of manifestation even more. But a lot of your focus goes towards relationships for the next sort of few weeks to a month. You seek commitment, you seek long-term and longevity. You may be drawn because, Cancer is very like family-oriented, past, nostalgic type sign. You may be drawn to someone who reminds you of the person you dated in the past, someone who reminds you of a parent or, someone you used to admire, being sort of attracted to someone who has those qualities, or someone who's very nurturing too, someone who's like soft and loving and caring. Maybe someone in the arts or someone in the creative profession with Mercury here, maybe also someone chatty, right? But it could be a great time for relationships of all kinds, not just romantic ones. If you are single and you want to date, it's a great time. If you are married, this could be the time of increased understanding. But if romance is not on your radar at all, this could be about signing contracts, negotiating business partnerships, and just being able to see eye to eye with other people, being able to harmonize and get along and feel closer with other people. Let me know how this resonates. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I do relationship readings, predictive readings, natal chart readings, and more. Now, if you are an Aquarius rising, Venus is about to enter your 6th house together with Mercury. So when Venus enters 6th house, we crave more peace and more harmony and joy in our everyday life. You may desire to have more time with your coworkers. You may actually notice that you and your coworkers are getting along. Maybe you're going out more. Maybe you're even starting to find a coworker attractive. Maybe you're being like, I didn't realize how cute you were before. So uniting the themes of like work and hard labor and romance comes very much with this transit. Being very practical about relationships, about caring for others, about love is also a signature of this transit, where maybe you show love through like packing a lunch for your partner or helping them fill their car up with gas. You're being very like, you're still caring and affectionate, but you're also pragmatic. You understand that it's not about grand gestures, but it is about consistently showing up and being there. You may desire to bring more beauty into your work life, sort of bringing flowers into your office, streamlining, putting some paintings on the wall. You will enjoy listening to music or doing things that kind of, like you crave to have more fun in your everyday life. You crave to have more fun in doing laundry, buying groceries. So it might involve doing it with your significant other, doing it with friends, turning it into a date, right? Like you're like, okay, let's go on a date. Let's go food shopping and see what we each like or something like that. So it could be a great time definitely for work. 6th house rules pets. So you may experience more fun picking a pet or hanging out with your pet. Just watch out for being a little bit too lazy and kind of letting not so healthy food choices, making not so healthy food choices, because Venus, similarly to Jupiter, can just be like, it's good. Have some cake, have more cake. What about a little bit more cake? So you want to be discerning. But could be a great period. And if you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. Last but not least, the beautiful Pisces rising. Venus is about to enter your 5th house. Venus is in her joy in the 5th house. Beautiful time. 5th house is the place of romance, pleasure, self-expression, children, making children, and Venus likes those things. That's why she's happy in the 5th house. So this could be the time romance knocks on your door without you necessarily trying hard and going out of your way. This could be the time that maybe somebody approaches you, right? Or maybe you just naturally out there having fun, taking a writing course. Mercury is also entering your 5th house. Doing pottery, making art, and you meet someone while out and about. So it could be a beautiful time to attract, right? To sort of manifest love. If you already have my Exalted Venus candle, this could be a great tool for manifesting, lighting it up, saying positive affirmations, writing about your perfect partner and things like that. Venus in the 5th could be a great time to sort of have fun, go out, meet up with friends, take up new hobbies, hang out with children, be more childlike, be more playful, connect with that inner desire to have fun and be, and just like let yourself unwind. Of course, watch out for a little bit overindulgence, right? Like 5th house is the place of pleasure. Venus likes pleasure, but too much pleasure could be unhealthy, where you like overindulge on sugar or overdrink and then deal with a hangover. So just try to find a healthy balance. But like very inspired, very romantic time. If you are someone in a creative field or you've been seeking inspiration, you felt like inspiration has been lacking in your life, this is the time to capture that inspiration and definitely go all in and pursue your passions and your interests. I hope it's a great time for you. If you want to know more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. We can talk about your compatibility with your crush, your natal chart, or your year coming up. And this is it. I hope you enjoy Venus in Cancer. Like I said in the beginning of this video, she's making a lot of harmonious aspects. So it should be a good transit. It should be a very like soothing and nurturing transit. Cancers give the best hugs, so hopefully it will just feel like one long warm hug. Not in the middle of the summer, but like one long warm hug in the middle of like spring or fall when you don't feel too sweaty. Anyways, I digress. Thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now, and I will see you soon. Bye.